Good evening, vinyl community. It's Bill here again. And tonight I'm going to do a contest entry to Jack at Vinyl Martini and his push to 600 subs contest. So let's get started before I show a lot of records with red, black and white. I think someone will have guessed already the band that I'm going to showcase with their discography. But before that, more importantly, let's give a shout out to two VC channels that really should have more subscriptions. So the first one is to Jack at the Vinyl Voyage, and I think Jack's first ever video was the vinyl tag for 2024, and then he's been a busy boy since then and made some fabulous videos. A fellow Scotsman, so yeah, it's always good to hear that that variation of the English language, some dulcet tones from Scotland. So yeah, Jack at the Vinyl Voyage has done some really interesting videos. I like some of his visual effects of tumbleweed, and there was a great start, got people going to his Beatles tag 2024. That's one that I'll maybe get around to doing that soon before it's 2025. And the second shout out is to a young man whose name I don't know, but he's also from Scotland, and his channel's called Someone Else's Nostalgia. Now, this young man, as I say, is a talented musician, so he does some videos where he's playing Heart of Gold or songs by Radiohead, and he sometimes does this as a solo venture and sometimes as a duet. So his short music videos are great. He confesses that he's a CD collector rather than a vinyl collector, but boy does he know his music. And he's got very eclectic tastes for a young man. So he's setting himself up for a great journey through recorded music. So that's my two shout outs. And yes, I mentioned packaging of records that use the three colors red, black and white. So you probably guessed already. I'm going to speak about the white stripes. So this is the White Stripes. This is the debut album from 15th June 1999, and it peaked at number 142 in the UK album charts. I don't think it made the album charts in his home country of the US of A. But yeah, this has got great tracks on it, such as Sugar Never Tasted So Good, and One More Cup of Coffee, and that blues standard, St. James Infirmary Blues. And then, I need to check my notes. On the 20th of June, a year later, they came up with this one, Distill, after the European or Dutch, or was it German, design movement. So lots of nice red, black and white here. And yeah, you're pretty good looking for a girl. Apple Blossom, Death Letter. And yeah, I think this is a very strong album. I think this is probably my second favorite White Stripes album. I think one that's coming up shortly will be my very favorite for obvious reasons. And then a year and a month later, we had White Blood Cells. And yeah, this has got the single Hotel Yorba on it, and Fell in Love with a Girl. Again, black and white and red all over. So it's not a newspaper, but White Blood Cells. And then this one is my favorite from 2003. This is quite I'm not sure if this is the original pressing rather than a re-release, but I really like this copy. Great gatefold with Meg standing on a stool so that she doesn't get eaten by the mouse. And yeah, if you look carefully at the front cover, you can spot an elephant charging at you with the trunk in here. And this is a tusk, not sure. But yeah, look at it in certain lights and you will see the elephant. And of course, great opening track on side A, Seven Nation Army, and Ball and Biscuits on here as well. And Is It True That We Love One Another? I think that's the one where they have a cup of tea once they're finished. So, elephant. And then next one is, I got it and I had to chuckle. I think this was a reissue, but it was first released in June of 2005, where it got to number 3 in both the UK and in the US. I should have said Elephant got to number 1 in the UK charts, but I had to chuckle that this was the first time released on black vinyl. So nice packaging again. And we've got The Nurse and Instinct Blues. Little Ghost is a really great song from this album. So it's Get Behind Me, Satan. And I had this one on CD before I got it on vinyl. But again, interesting, Pearly King and Queen on the cover, in the gatefold, and on the back cover. So I believe these Pearly King and Queen outfits are very heavy to wear with all these buttons sewn onto them. But Icky Thump is a great track, and Conquest I love, and 300 miles per hour torrential outpour blues. And Effect and Cause has some very, very clever lyrics. So I really like this one too. And then one that I think is a bootleg, actually. So those were all the studio albums. But this is quite nice. This is Rare A-Sides and Rare B-Sides by the White Stripes. And this has got, well, copies of their very early singles, such as Look Me Over Closely, which had a pressing of only 500 from 1998. and it was on the Italy Rex. So yeah, and then there was Red Bowling Ball Ruth, and then Jolene is on here, and yeah, there's a nice track which was a rare Christmas single from 2002, and it's reading the story of the Magi, although it says magic, and also includes Silent Night on it. You have to get this all the right way around, etc. But yeah, we've also got Lafayette Blues from the very rare second 7-inch, and only 500 of these were pressed. So I guess if you have any of the original singles that the White Stripes released, then you're probably sitting on a small fortune. And then a couple other records to show. White Stripes, and this is the complete John Peel sessions. Again, interesting gatefold and a photo of Jack and Meg with the wonderful John Peel, who was very influential in the early career of the White Stripes, and of course the Undertones and various other bands. I must do a video about John Peel and his influence and his connection, personal connection to me with regards to some of the records that I heard on John Peel's radio show and had to get as a result. And then we have really nice package. This, I'm not sure if it came from the archive or the vault, the subscription service. I didn't. I keep meaning to sign up for the subscription service. This one's called XX, or is it 20, using Roman numerals, and it was released on the 20th anniversary of the original 1999 release of the debut album. And then, of course, no band's discography would be complete without showing the compilation or greatest hits album. This was released in December of 2020, and yeah, not sure. Yeah, this is just on black vinyl. But yeah, every track on this is a winner, and finishes with Seven Nation Army. Some really nice photos as well, all done in the black, white, and red. I'm not sure if you're supposed to do this, but I'm going to do a shout out to the charity that I would like to support. And yeah, that's very presumptuous, but I guess Jack from the Vinyl Martini will pull names out of a name out of the hat to be the winner of the contest. But I'd like to nominate Deaf Blind Scotland